What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Showcase Central, episode 30. I am your host, Nate Branco here, and I gotta issue an apology to you guys real quick. Although I did say I may or may not be there on Monday. Monday was my birthday, so I had every damn right to go out there and celebrate. So, what did I do? Made myself scarce. Freaking everybody was at work, so I had to wait until later on. I went and made myself busy. I went to go visit a cat cafe for the first time ever. I went out to eat, grabbed a little rice bowl, chicken bowl, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, got to see my niece, pick her up from daycare. Heck yeah, it was a good day. And I went to Buffalo Wild Wings with the fam, even though most of them do not like that place. All right. So there's that. That's why Monday's episode was not a thing. And so here we are with Fridays. I was definitely not going to do that to you guys. I was definitely going to give you an episode, a showcase this Friday. And here we are. So I've been piling up some news throughout the week when I wasn't around. And honestly, there wasn't a whole lot. So I have some news about call-ups. I have some news, especially that happened last night. Actually, mostly last night, actually. And I actually want to talk about that with you guys today. So, you know what? Let's talk about the Braves and the Dodgers. Let's talk about that epic Chris Sale performance, in which we will start with that right now. Chris Sale went the distance with 100 miles per hour in his 1-0 ball game against LA. Oh my god. And they swept them too, man. You know how freaking good that looked? They swept them in Atlanta. Sale now has a 13-9 record with a 2.06 ERA. He has 177 Ks and a whip of 1.00 on the season. Believe it or not, I looked this up. This year at home, he has an 8-3 record with a home ERA of 1.45. And that includes last night. That's awesome. That is awesome. That man knows when to get it done at home. Believe it or not, guys, Chris Sale, he's on the back end of his career. But yet, you look at him from last year and you look at him now, oh my god. He looks like a totally new man. He is 37 years old, still pitching at a high level. Look at him now. He's literally competing with young arms like The Miz from Milwaukee and Christopher Sanchez from the Philadelphia Phillies. Who would have known, huh? That's just amazing, man. That's amazing. And he's still in the running for Cy Young. He literally said at the end of the game, "This is mine." And I was just like, oh shit. I'm like, he's calling out the Miz without full on calling him out. Oh my god. I'm going to preach this right now. We all know that the Dodgers are an enemy of the Braves. We've seen it years and years already. Just go back to 2020. Go back to 2021. And they're still enemies to this day. They get hyped up like crazy. Whether it's Fox, whether it's ESPN, it doesn't matter. They always say, oh, the big rivalry. Yeah. Trust me, I've seen it. And my boy David, that man hates the Dodgers, man. Oh. But as great as Chris Sale has been this year, the Braves, they haven't, before that Dodgers series, they have not been playing their best ball. They actually had a good, 10-point, they had a good 10 games on the Phillies in the division. And yet, now, I think it got disintegrated to 4. Also, Phillies have been playing really good ball too. But even with that sweep, I think that freaking just bolstered them up a little bit. But my point is, I feel like the Braves missed out on a big starter during this trade deadline because you look at the other guys in the pen. You look at Martin Perez. I mean, he's all right. Tyler Mahle, who they picked up, Grant Holmes, Bryce Elder. Those guys are not really making the cut. Sure, they'll be on a playoff. They'll be part of the playoff roster, of course. But I feel like they needed another big name to pair up with Sale to complement him, you know? But it sucks. But honestly, it sucks because Sale can't do everything on his own. And, you know, you need a solid guy for a 2 out of 3 series, whether it's against the Cubs, whether it's against the freaking Dodgers again. But, yeah, it could be fucked. But my point is, the Braves, awesome performance throughout the week. I wish them luck in the playoffs moving forward and for the rest of the season. But, yeah, just another starter I wish they had. Let's talk about a call-up. Oh my God, Walker Jenkins. He is the top prospect for the Twins right now. And this is with Byron Buxton going on the Walker Jenkins. He was actually ranked 12th overall on ESPN's top 100 MLB prospect rankings for 2026. He was the 5th overall pick in the 2023 draft and will need to be added to the organization's 40-man roster as well as the active 26-man roster going into the weekend series against the Chicago White Sox, who are actually leading the AL Central as we speak. This is a great move. Honestly, I don't see why not. Buxton, great talent, but the Twins, you know, they're at a younger approach in a way, and they're what? 3 to 4 games behind the last wildcard spot in the AL, but they're what, 65 and 70? What the fuck is that, man? That just shows you how messy the AL is this year, guys. I don't get it. You look at everyone's talking about how bad the AL West is this year. Yet, look at the AL Central. There's nothing to fuss about either. I don't understand. I really don't. But literally, probably the hottest team in baseball right now. They have won 7 in a row, and I gave this team crap a while ago. The Cleveland Guardians. They are finally stepping it up. And as of right now, they hold the last wildcard spot in the AL. Cleveland, I don't know how they do it, but the past 2 seasons, they have crawled their way into the playoffs. There was a time, I believe it was in September, they were down 11 games in second place in the AL Central with Detroit taking over. What happened? They blew up. They blew up in the best way possible. They decided to freaking go on a big-ass run. Detroit ended up, I believe, in a wild card spot, and Cleveland took over the division. Stephen Vogt actually ended up winning AL Manager of the Year solely because of that. I was like, wow. I'm like, okay, nice run, by the way, but you did not deserve it. But anyways, yes, Cleveland actually... anyways, I'm getting a little off topic. But Cleveland, the Twins are actually trying to bulk up for the time being, and it's actually pretty cool to see them trusting their young guns just to pull off potentially a big September run. Anyways, we are on to our next topic, and this one is important. And this one actually caught my eye a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of light here. Actually, no, that doesn't look good either. So, yes, this topic is super important. So I actually want you guys to keep a close eye on this one, especially in the future, because this actually has to do with the MLB and MLBPA. The MLB actually pitched a free agent frenzy, just like the NFL and the NBA. So you know how the NFL and the NBA like to do this little window where it's I think it's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you have these guys just racking up. You have teams like this, like that, scooping up guys left and right. Let's just say the MLB is trying to do that. They're trying to take a page out of the playbooks of both those leagues. The MLB pitches a 3-week free agent signing window in December. They want free agency to officially begin on the Monday of the winter meetings, which take place in early December. The window to sign players would close on December 21st and then reopen on the first Monday in February before spring training starts. There would be a ban on all trades during the gap between those proposed free agent periods. Teams would still be able to negotiate with players starting 5 days after the conclusion of the World Series, but agreements could not be finalized until the winter meetings. Proposal comes part of negotiations for a new collective bargain agreement with the salary cap system involved. I'm going to give you guys my natural opinion on this. I don't mind this, actually. I really don't. Because for you MLB fans out there, right? How many of you get pissed off how it's such a slow offseason and it's like you're waiting for one big move to happen just for you to find out that it's just getting dragged on? Like, do you guys remember that Bryce Harper one where that shit dragged upon the whole offseason? Oh my God. I was so annoyed throughout that whole thing. I was like, dude, just sign with somebody already. And honestly, it's pretty much putting a halt to that. It's pretty much saying like, hey, sign. Just like that. It's pretty much putting a slow offseason into a fast offseason. Like, I've seen the NBA do it. The NBA, man, they do it right. The NFL, the NBA does it in June? The NFL does it in March. The NFL does it pretty smart, I will say, because, the Super Bowl ends in beginning of February. And then next thing you know, the next month, they give pretty much like a whole last month to talk with free agents and such, visiting, and that just makes it much easier. And then, the NBA, they do it like at least a good 2 weeks after. The MLB would actually be doing it like they give it a whole last month of November for free agents to actually go visit the teams that are interested in them. So, honestly, I'm not opposed to this. I actually would like to see this. But I feel like the MLBPA is going to be all bent out of shape because of the whole salary cap system. That's their big issue. But, yeah. Opposed to the free agent window, I'm all about that. Salary cap, let's try it. But we all know these players are greedy. And they have a salary cap like no other. And I don't see why they would give this a shot. They can and like I just read to you, they can reopen that shit up before spring training starts in February. Why not? I honestly, this actually gives off cutting off the slow off season, making things quicker. It would just be something that's new, refreshing, breath of fresh air. If I'm Rob Manfred, I would keep my eyes peeled on this. If I'm the MLBPA, I would look collectively into this. I don't see why they wouldn't try this because I believe the agreement only lasts like 5 years or such. Anyways, that concludes episode 30 of Showcase Central. Like and subscribe on this video. Comment on the video below. Let me know what you guys think about Walker Jenkins. Let me know what you guys think about Chris Sale and the Braves. Let me know about this free agency frenzy that the MLB is going to pitch out to the MLBPA. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your Friday. I hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you guys on Monday.